long time no talk, everybody. I am back. I have just been busy. So, with that being said, I'm going to do something today that I've never done before. I'm not doing it because it's a fad. I'm doing it because I love it. And I've been playing this game since the first one came out, I think back in like '08. We're talking about God of War real quick. A quick review of God of War. I played the whole thing. This is what I think. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing all of them. So I think the first one came back out on PS2 a long time ago. So my review of the game. I bought this Atreus pop. If you don't know who that is, in the new one, that is Kratos' son, and he's on the back too. Kratos is. I really want the Kratos pop. Oh, so bad. Okay, but anyways, in this one, Kratos has a son. His name is Atreus. There's a cover there. For those of you that haven't seen it, you're crazy. If you haven't played it, you're even crazier. It's a PS4 exclusive, obviously. The game is absolutely amazing. When the first trailer appeared a while back, I was a little nervous. I think a lot of God of War fans were. He didn't have the Blades of Chaos. He had an axe instead of the blades. The camera angle was totally different. The type of gameplay, the over-shoulder, throwing the axe and hacking and slashing with the axe was totally different compared to previous games. As well as this one, you got somebody tagging along with you the entire game, which is his son. Spoiler, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this probably. I'll try my best not to do them, but if they do, I'm sorry, you've been warned. Okay, so there are a few negatives to this game when I finally dug into it. One is there's not enough boss battles. As far as the main story goes, there's only a handful of boss battles compared to previous God of War games where there's numerous bosses. This one does not have a lot of storyline bosses, but we'll get to the other bosses in a second. Also, the game itself is beautiful. If you have a 4K, Ultra HD, and all that kind of stuff like I do, the game is absolutely stunning. The graphics are amazing. The views of landscape and stuff that it has, and then when it goes into like it's like the story mode, like where they're talking and stuff like that, or like a cinematic moment, absolutely gorgeous. One of the best games I've ever seen visually on a TV. I mean, the beauty alone is totally worth it. Blows my mind out of the water. So with that being said, once I started to play the game, it was amazing. I'm telling everybody, you need to play this game. If you own a PS4 and you're not playing this game, I really don't know what's wrong with you. If you like it's not one of those multimedia online thingies or whatever they're called these days, game that everybody else is playing. If you like a story game, this is it for you. This is probably the longest in the whole God of War series. It's probably about 25 hours just for story mode, roughly. I'm sure you can get through it faster. But if you like to explore like I do, it's going to take you a while. Now, after story mode, unlike all the other God of War games, this one, it's not necessarily like an open world per se, but it is open to explore as much as possible after the main story's over. Where the other ones, as soon as the story's over, end of credits, that's it, game over, you got to start a new game if anything. This one, you can continue to explore the world as much as you want. There's new enemies, there's new bosses that are like sideline bosses type deals. That is something that I love about this game. So, like I said, I already beat story mode, but I've already dumped another 10 hours probably into it after the fact, just going back and re-exploring areas that I can now access due to different power-ups and things that I have. Also, collecting different treasures, collecting different things for your weapons. There's 2 worlds that are open at the end that I'm loving exploring right now. As far as another negative, if I had to say one, I don't really know. I mean, like I said, besides the bosses, that's really it. Which is why, if I had to give this a grade or a scale of 1 to 10, it's going to be a 9.5. I mean, like I said, just the bosses. If you tacked in a few more bosses, it would be a 10. I mean, this game is flat out amazing. Atreus, his son that follows you around, is not a drag. It's not somebody that you have to worry about constantly and go and save or anything like that. He's there for the ride, and he's very, very helpful when you're fighting other people. This is the first time that he's in Norse mythology. Okay, so we're talking like before the Viking area. We're talking like, the whole Asgardian, Thor, Odin type of realm, like that mythology. Talking those gods. How he gets there and not back in Greece where he was from, you'll have to find that out. Okay, how did he get from Sparta to this? You'll have to find that out as you play the game. It's a very great story. One more thing is that the dynamic between him and his son, man, Kratos has come a long way. Back in the day, he was just a straight up asshole. Didn't give a shit about anything. If you were in his way, you were dying. He didn't care what you were there for, anything. I mean, the dude killed his own family, for God's sakes. If you don't know much about Kratos, that should be it in a nutshell right there. He doesn't care about anything. But in this game, the dynamic between him and his son right there, it really shows the complex relationship of a father and his son without the mother. So that's another thing that's happening in the game you'll have to explore. But the game itself, beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. The bosses that you do fight are hard. Now, as far as the storyline bosses go, they're great. Outside of the story, there is side missions that you can complete. Spoiler, you fight the Valkyries. In this game, there's 8 or 9 of them. They're all really, really hard. They're harder as you fight more and more of them. So that's another boss that you get to fight on a thing. My only other critique is the deaths in this one. They're not as... I don't want to say they're not as graphic, because they're very graphic, but the blood in this game is not as Kill Bill as it was in the previous games, where there was just blood everywhere all the time. He was ripping dudes' heads off and arms off and spines out. I mean, he was doing some gruesome, gruesome deaths in the previous games. This one, he does have a few gruesome deaths, but there's only a few, and it's the same almost for every enemy that you fight. He either smashes their head with his foot, or he, with the wolves, he'll rip down their jaw all the way to here, which is pretty gruesome and pretty cool, but it's the same throughout the game, and while it's great and cool, it's like, damn, is there any other way I can kill these people, like, in a cool way that I used to back in the old games? That's my only critique, my only other critique with this game. But yeah, different voice actor as well for Kratos, but it just sounds like somebody who literally has gotten older and their voice has changed a little bit over time. That's the only difference, really. I mean, it sounds still like Kratos. But yeah, if you haven't played this game, pick it up. 9.5 out of 10. I'm a huge God of War fan, so I know what I'm talking about. You do get the Blades of Chaos in the game. Spoiler. Hate to break it to you. As far as storyline mode, it's essential to the story later on. He picks up his Blades of Chaos, so you do get them back. But the axe that he has in this game, the Leviathan axe in this game, is amazing. When you throw it, it's just like Thor's hammer. He puts his hands out, it comes back to him. Man, that controller pulses as soon as it lands in your hand. It's a great feeling. You almost just want to throw, even if there's not an enemy around, you almost just want to throw his axe just so you can call it back and feel that in your hand. Because it feels sturdy, it feels good. It's just like Thor's hammer, like I said. It hurts enemies going and coming. So if you're calling it back and there's an enemy in the path of it, it's going to hurt him. It feels so good. So that was a welcome addition to this game. I was a little weary about Kratos with an axe. Usually he's like a hacker and slasher. Big, lengthy, distance. He can hurt a lot of people in distance. But this with the axe, man, it feels at home. Now I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, if he doesn't have his axe in the next couple games, I'm going to be like, damn, I wish they brought that back. So hopefully it sticks around because it is good. That's it, guys. God of War, pick it up. PS4, 9.5 out of 10. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I love this game. I love for this guy, okay? This is my dude right here. God of War, Kratos. Check it out. Shadow Nerds, out.